morning. It's Cassie from Fade In, Fade Out LLC in Dalton, Wisconsin. It is time for a morning tarot reading straight from the shop. I am starting out today with the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. We're going to see what comes through for a card or cards with these and put that at the top of the spread. And then I will move into the tarot spread itself. Today I'm using the Wildwood Tarot, and I will be creating a pyramid with that. And then, if needed at the end, I will pull a guidance card or guidance cards to help close off and solidify any messages that come through today. I do read for myself, but as a part of my journey, I've decided to share these messages with others as well. So here we are. I had quite a few jump out twice now, so we're just going to see what we can find here for a card or cards. All right, I got two today. I'm going to see what those are. Peaks of Joy and Flying. Oh, interesting. These cards are significant to me today, and I'll tell you why at the end. Or maybe I won't. Maybe we'll keep it a secret. We'll see. But anyways, very cool cards to start out with. So I've talked about before that along with the tarot reading in the morning, I've been doing a lot of shamanic journeying as well, and I had a really interesting encounter yesterday. So I go to my inner temple, and I've discovered some new places in my inner temple, by the way, but one of the places that I went to is what I refer to as the gateway to healing. So in order to enter this gateway, I have to open it with a key that I received on a prior journey. And I walked down this brick corridor with torches lining the way. And there's one way that I can go kind of off the beaten path where I can climb up a ladder and into kind of like a little secret hideaway. There's like a cauldron there and some books and shelves and kind of like a little, I want to call it like sort of old English style living room with like the rug on the floor, stone walls, stone floor. There's a rocking chair in there, and I can go in there to read books and gain more knowledge in terms of, I feel like, ancestral knowledge that I can't find anywhere else. And then the other way that I can go is continuing straight down the corridor. And when I get to the corridor, I am met by a beautiful Arctic landscape. So like, think of Alaska, and that's what it looks like to me. And I'm always greeted by a beautiful white polar bear with green eyes, who I have been told is Ursa Minor. That is how I refer to her. And she always takes me on this journey to a ice castle in the middle of this Arctic landscape. Okay, so anyways, we made it to the castle here, and the castle has these beautiful black doors in the front with a silver handle. I open the silver handle, and inside of this ice castle is like a beautiful cathedral style temple. There's beautiful purple furnishings, like awnings and furniture, and in the middle of it is a silver throne. And I always find a spirit ally of mine who I refer to as Raya. She's always wearing like some sort of black cloak. She has gray hair and her eyes change colors, and I've previously seen her with red eyes, which is really intense. And lately she's had yellow eyes. Anyways, I met with her yesterday in the temple, and she sat me down on one of the purple couches, and she says, we need to talk about some things. She had made some tea for me, and I don't remember everything that came through to me in terms of what she said, but one thing that came through very clearly was that she wanted to make sure that I was ready, because she made it very clear that I'm kind of going through a spiritual transition, and she wanted to make sure that I was ready. And she asked me very specifically, I remember this: are you ready to face your deepest fears and your wildest dreams? Because you can't have one without the other. And the other thing she said is, I just want to make sure you're ready. You need to make sure you're ready, because you're going to see things and find things that you never thought were possible. And it's going to be incredibly frightening at times and terrifying, but it's also filled with growth. And so she had this kind of like treasure chest box in her hands, and she says, I have something for you if you're ready. And my conscious self might have been more hesitant to answer this question, but my spirit self, I heard myself say, yes, that's why I'm here. I am ready. That's why I came here. And so she opens this box, and it has a beautiful golden light shining out of it. And inside of the box is this beautiful golden, kind of a large golden coin that has the Eye of Horus on it. And she told me that I needed to keep this token with me, that it would be protective and very important for me as I transition along this journey. And she also encouraged me to find an Eye of Horus in my living life as well for protection as I move forward on my journey. And anyways, that was a really interesting encounter. And so after that, I did some research on the Eye of Horus, of course, because I was curious. And so anyways, what was wild to me is I came in the shop this morning, and I totally forgot that I had this, and I'm just going to go grab it because it's really crazy to me. So again, I totally forgot that I had this in the shop, and I came in and I saw this today. This is like a kind of a funky candle pyramid, but Eye of Horus and the Ankh on it. Ankh, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to have to look into it. I've gotten some interesting Egyptian symbolism in my journeys before, but this one was very clear to me. So anyways, I wanted to share that because I thought it was incredibly fascinating that after having that journey that I happened to see this Eye of Horus. It was just crazy to me. So anyways, we're going to move into the tarot spread now. So we start out the spread here with the Seven of Vessels. On the bottom of the card, it says mourning. There are some empty vessels here laying in front of a skull. The first thing that comes to mind is dry bones. All the life has been stripped away here. That's the situation that's showing up. And so, this is like a void, right? And I have been getting messages, interestingly enough, of a void. And imagery of voids. And voids are not necessarily a bad thing. There's always an equal balance, a give and take of the light and dark in life, of good and bad, life and death. All of these things, they take cycles in life. And so this is a part of life, this stripping away of these dry bones, this kind of lifelessness. And so there's nothing left at this point, right? Whatever had been is gone, okay? But that doesn't have to be a negative experience. In fact, it can be a very positive and healing experience to come to this realization that everything that had been is now gone. It's been stripped away, and the only thing that can happen now is for new life to be born. Okay, and so this message is already really relevant for me. I'm getting chills. There's something really strong coming through here about embracing this, allowing this death, whatever death it is. You know, it could be a transition in life. You know, it could be changing jobs, it could be losing a friendship, it could be all kinds of different things. And whatever is presenting to you at this particular time, you're aware that it won't ever be what it was, right? It can't ever, it's over. Whatever it was is over. Whatever had been is over. Dry bones, lifelessness, but you can always start again. There is always a possibility for rebirth after death, right? And so that's what's coming through with this card, is that this is the very beginning here of a new cycle, in terms of, especially in terms of emotions, because this is a Vessels card or a Cups card. It has to do with emotions. And so even though there's been some very heavy feelings of loss associated with this situation, something new can always come from that. And so we follow that here with some interesting cards. We've got the Three of Vessels and the Three of Stones. 2 3s right next to each other feels very significant. And then I've got the number 33 card here with the Peaks of Joy. So the number 3 today is significant. But anyways, we've got the Three of Vessels and we've got the Three of Stones. Now, there's happiness and communion to be had with other energies at this time, but there's also a need to focus on the self here. So there's got to be a balance between these two extreme, well, not extremes, but these two situations. So in order to find this friendship, this communion, this happiness, this joyous energy, you need to be stable in yourself. And so this woman here is becoming one with her environment. She's becoming one with herself, and she's expanding into the world around her, right? She's alone here because she has the structure, stability, and support around her, in terms of her, she's created a stable life for herself, and that is what she can always retreat to when she needs to. And this inspires her when she retreats and she takes the time for herself to grow, because that's really how you grow, is when you are stripped away and you are forced to really kind of, you feel alone. That alone feeling can turn into this. You know, you can be alone and you can really grow from that because you really learn a lot about yourself. And so anyways, there's definitely something to be said here about finding safety, structure, and stability. You know, retreating to this state where you feel at one with your environment, you feel whole on your own. And when you nurture this, then you can have this where you can really happily congregate with others and other energies, other situations, and have happiness, joy, and fulfillment. And also not keeping yourself too alone. Because if you don't go out and try to have these types of interactions, then you can end up feeling removed from the community or from your friends, your family. So there's both of these are very important at this time as you grow, and try to create something new with this situation. Okay, we're going to move into the next row. We have the Two of Stones, the Hooded Man, and the Seven of Stones. There's a lot of stones here I'm noticing, which is interesting. Anyways, we have the Two of Stones and the Seven of Stones surrounding the Hermit. Now, this Hermit really correlates to this energy where you're retreating from and taking this time to nurture yourself and be in your stable, secure environment that you have created for yourself. That is your safe zone. That is your place where you can always retreat to revitalize yourself. And now with the Hooded Man here, which relates to the Hermit, there's more of this coming through. And I find it this this tree here, this reminds me of my world tree that I see in my journeys, and this door is exactly like it. And I wonder if the imagery comes from the card or if it's just something that my mind created. But in any case, there's this doorway here, and you can always go within for answers, and that's really important to me at this time. But I think that message is relevant for anyone at any given time. This going within, this finding this safety, structure, and stability within yourself. And I mean literally within. You go within, you meditate, you pray, whatever type of ritual or time you take for yourself, with your spirit team, with God, with whatever it is that you believe in, whatever your faith is. That's symbolized here by this little bird. And so the hooded man here is having this conversation with this bird, and he's feeling enlightened. And at any time he has this light with him, and he can journey further into this tree and gain more knowledge if needed. So there's a lot of importance here about continuing to nurture this inner environment that you've created for yourself, because there's a lot to be gained by nurturing yourself and your inner relationships and your divine relationships at this time. So if you have a faith that you follow, now would be a really good time to really nurture that, is what's coming through. So that's relevant for me, but that can be relevant for others as well. Okay. Now, and again, this is a solo journey. This is not something that you need anyone else for. This is your personal relationship with your God, with your divine guidance system. This is all for you, and it's only for you. And, there may be times when you can share this with others, right? But this card signifies the importance of first having that very stable and sound individual relationship with yourself and with your divine guidance system first and foremost. Okay, so then around that Hermit card, we've got the Two of Stones and we've got the Seven of Stones. So with the Seven of Stones here, we have two hairs fighting each other. Okay, there's two energies fighting each other. And the stones correlate to the pentacles, which is all about time, energy, and resources. So there's kind of this battle going on about how to handle and manage time, energy, and resources. And I would be inclined to say that there doesn't need to be a struggle here with managing your time, energy, and resources. Let go of this perceived struggle. So if you're feeling strapped for time, or you're feeling, strapped in any sense in terms of time, energy, and resources, if you're feeling any sense of lack, that's a struggle. And you don't need to put up this fight. In fact, you just let go of the fight and you walk away from the fight, and whatever it is, and you just accept it for what it is. So if you're feeling like, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough energy, whatever it is, you're fighting yourself. And you're fighting your divine guidance system as well, because you're in that state of mind. You're in that place where you feel so much lack, and you're continuing to feel this struggle. And, that doesn't bring you to anything substantial, because you just continue to vibrate at that frequency and see more of that in your life. So something here coming through about letting go of the fight. You don't need to fight. You don't need to feel like it's a struggle. You don't need to struggle. The struggle is an illusion, is what came through. So interesting information there on the side. And then we've got the Seven of Stones here, and it says here healing. So we've got what looks like a wounded warrior here, and then the green woman meditating in front of him and summoning healing energy. So the Seven of Stones is really, it correlates to the Seven of Pentacles, and it's really about growth. But in order for growth to happen, well, first of all, in order for growth to happen, sometimes there has to be this stripping away from, or there's a starting fresh. So like, for example, in nature, especially here in Wisconsin, things don't grow all year round. In fact, things grow for a little while and then they die, and then things appear to be dead for quite some time, and they're really just sleeping or resting and revitalizing for the next cycle, for the next spring, right? During the winter time, that's what's going on. And so I think the thing that's coming through here is that there has been, this stripping away from, there has been this wounding, right? Some sort of wounding, some sort of stripping away from. And so the message that's coming through to me here is that there's a need to really focus on this growth. And this growth is it's not an overnight process. It's a continual working on and a continual process where you grow and then things are stripped away, and then you grow and then things are stripped away, and like you're in this point right now where things had been stripped away and you're starting to grow again. And so there's a lot of time, energy, and resources that you need to put into, not into focusing on this external battle where you feel like you don't have enough time, energy, and resources. That doesn't serve you right now. What does serve you right now is this internal, working on this internal journey, okay, and this internal healing, this internal focus where you are growing your relationship with yourself, your divine guidance system, and you're really gaining an understanding of who you are in this life and what your purpose is. So you're nurturing yourself here, okay? And yes, you don't want to be too alone. You want to make sure that you continue to have, outside relations and relationships, but self-focus is really coming through here, and it's very important. Okay. We have the next row here, the King of Vessels, the King of Arrows, the Archer, and the Two of Bows. So some pretty powerful energies here at the bottom of the spread. The first one I'm going to go with here is the Two of Wands. So this man is standing between these two fiery torches. Now the wands correlate to taking action, and it says right on the card here, decision. Where are you going to put your fire when you decide to act and make decisions? Where is it that you're putting your fire? Okay, now I think there's something to be said here about walking down the middle here. You don't have to choose one way or the other necessarily. But again, with the Two of Stones too, drop the fight, drop the challenge, drop the struggle. It doesn't have to be a struggle. You can navigate slowly here and really decide where it is you feel your heart needs to go. Where is your heart leading you, right? And so this indicates that you're kind of stepping into a doorway here, and you're going to be presented with situations that challenge your passion, your will, and desire. And again, the message comes through to let go of the struggle and to just allow things to be as they are. And in terms of the Wands energy, allow your heart to lead the way. That's what's coming through here. Okay. Now we have three strong energies here. We have two kind of people-y type energies, I would say, and then we've got the Archer. So I'm going to start with the Archer because I think it's important. So the Archer here correlates to the Chariot in the traditional tarot. So in this card, this Archer has taken all of her energy from her bow. She's holding her bow and she's holding her arrow back, and she's really focusing on where she's going to take her next shot, right? Now, the momentum that is gained from pulling that arrow back and focusing on the target, that momentum is incredibly important to stay focused on. If she's not incredibly focused, she could miss her shot. This could be a life or death situation. Maybe not literally, but figuratively here, it's showing that this could be she seems very intense and very focused. This is a very important moment for her to focus her will, desire, and inspiration. We've got the bow here, which represents fire, and we've got the arrow, which represents air. So action combined with inspiration, right? And so she needs to be very focused on that, and she finds that focus by doing this inner healing, this inner work, finding the safety, structure, and stability within herself, and having these communications with her higher self and her divine guidance system, or her faith that she has. Because next to her are these two I'm not sure if these are wolves or whatever creatures, but this is her spirit team behind her, helping her to stay focused. So she's not alone here in this environment. She has support available, but her focus is incredibly important at this time. So combining that desire, that will, that passion with inspiration, and really focusing on where it is that you would like to go. Again, letting your heart lead the way. So the arrow here is the heart, and the heart leads the way, and it's very magnetic. So wherever she's shooting this arrow, she better be very sure that that's where she wants that arrow to go, because it's a very important time here. There's a lot of momentum that can be gained when action is taken. That's what's coming through there. And then we have the King of Vessels and the King of Arrows, two kind of water-dwelling and land-dwelling birds, which I think is very interesting. And then one is very, very large, and then one is very, very small. The kingfisher feels so familiar to me. I can relate to this energy. So the kingfisher bird, or the King of Arrows here, has this... he has this thing that he's focusing on. Again, this is about focus. And so he's floating above this river or lake or whatever this is, and he's waiting for the right moment to catch his fish. He's hunting for fish, and he's waiting for the right moment to dive into the water and grab it. A lot like the archer here. There's a lot of focus and intent here before he dives into the water. If he dives into the water too many times, he could scare the fish away. And the fish, I think, represent in this scenario opportunities, right? So if he pokes his head too many times into the water, he scares away the opportunity. If he doesn't act at all, he doesn't ever find the opportunity, right? So there's something to be said here about diving into your emotions and finding out what really is, where your heart really does want to go, diving into that and figuring that out. And then with the heron here, again, another water and land dwelling bird that eats fish. Now, he is in much more shallow water in this card, and he has a much larger beak. So he doesn't need to necessarily put so much momentum into catching the fish. It's more about, and because the King of Vessels here represents the cups or the emotions, it's more about when he feels the time is right to catch the fish or find the opportunity. So thought, will, desire, action, and emotion, passion are all coming together here in this spread. And the only way you figure that out is by doing this inner work and finding what truly lights you on fire, and really nurturing that. That's where you find the magic, is what's coming through to me here. So we're going to move now into reading the two cards at the top to see what they have to say. All right. Peaks of joy. Joy is yours today. No matter what your inquiry, you will be happy with the results. You're coming closer to a sense of achievement, and you've worked hard for it. You're surrounded by true companions and events that are synchronistically arranged to bring you to the next level of your life. The world is singing a beautiful harmony. Life is exhilarating and hopeful. Let gratitude fill your heart, and remember to share your happiness. Joy is contagious. That's why this card is here with the So when you find these revelations within yourself about how, you find your passion, you become very excited about it. Sharing that with others, I think, is why the Three of Vessels is here. Let's see here, 20. The next one is flying. I've seen this card a few times in the last couple days, and it's very ironic to me. So, flying, you have the power to see things from a higher perspective. If you were a bird flying high in the air, what would you see? When you soar above life's challenges and opportunities, a new perspective becomes available. Today, you have invisible wings that allow you to swiftly bring your circumstances into alignment with your highest purpose. This is a sign that your waiting is over, that all of your hard work has paid off, and that the things you hoped for are no longer beyond your scope. You have the ability to reach for the stars and find one with your name on it. Spread your wings and soar. The angels are waiting for you. Very cool message. All right, I think just for fun, we're going to see if there's anything else that needs to come through in this time and space. This was a really cool reading. I really enjoyed it. All right, I'd like to ask if there are any other messages that need to come through in this time and space for the highest good, harming none. Please bring them to me now. Only messages for the highest good are welcome in this time and space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything else that will help solidify this message, or any additional information that would help with this overall message, or anything else that is needed at this time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nature charged, and that's what came through. All right, nature charged. A walk in nature is the best thing you can do for yourself. Sometimes we forget how bountiful and beautiful nature is. Communing with nature is like hooking up to a battery while watching the most beautiful movie you have ever seen. It helps you to rebalance, recharge, and to know that everything in nature is abundant. This is what you are one with, and it comes with unlimited potential and possibilities. If you pulled this card, you are being urged to reconnect with nature today by consuming natural supplements, taking walks, listening to nature, cloud bust, swim, watch snowfall, and say, I am all of this and more. What a cool message. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We will catch you next time. Bye.